how fear of your own masculinity is sabotaging your sex life. That is the bullshit title I read attached to the first image I found when I searched Google for masculinity for an image for this thumbnail on the video today. Just incredible. You know, yesterday I could not stop thinking. By the end of the day, I was done. I was so mentally exhausted because all I could think about is how are we going to save the next generation of men from this cancerous bullshit feminism that says, oh no, that's not how you do masculinity. You've got to do it this way, but you can't do it too much because that's toxic and because that's expectations of women. That's misogynistic. This is basically what feminists are doing with fucking idea what it's all about. Right? You got this clown, Dr. Michael Kimmel, who calls himself an expert in the field of masculinity and in fact made his own field of study called masculinity studies. He is the most emasculated little soy boy I've ever met. And I'm not insulting him here, but this is just my personal view and opinion. And this is the guy who is teaching the next generation of sociologists, policymakers, politicians, journalists, human resources managers. This is the person that's teaching these people about masculinity. Come the fuck on, seriously. I'm so done. I'm so fucking done with sitting back and pretending like this is all gonna work itself out, because it's not. And the only way that things are gonna fix themselves is if I get shit done and I fix it, because nobody else is gonna do it for me. So I am proposing a global project on masculinity on an unprecedented scale, taking back the minds of young men, taking back their hearts and their passion and handing it back to them on a silver platter. They deserve that. They deserve to know that they are worthwhile and that they are not the problem. They deserve to know what they're capable of. They deserve to know about shaming tactics and how it is nothing but insecurity from the person that is throwing it at them, hoping it will stick. Now, the way in which I propose to do this is to essentially start going to schools and speaking to boys, particularly in areas. I'm going to start in Western Sydney, where there are particular demographic areas where there is a high rate of single motherhood. I'm not disparaging single mothers that you know, the husband was a drug addict, or you know, he passed away, right? I also, well, I mean, if the husband's a drug addict, what kind of a judge of character was the woman that had the child with him? But you know, I digress. Everyone's got their own issues. I'm not going to I'm not going to you know, delve into that today. But we really need to teach men, future men, young boys, about the real original definition of masculinity, what that represents, and to tell them that toxic masculinity is not a thing, because it's not a thing. There is nothing toxic about masculinity. There's nothing fragile about masculinity. Masculinity is masculinity, and there is no slicing it up so you can serve it up as a social justice warrior that makes it different. Right? So what I want to say is that these boys need me. And although the feminists might not want me to come to the schools, I'll go in there by stealth. I'll say, you know, I want to talk to the boys about, you know, masculinity and, you know, how we can be better at it. right? I'm going to craft it in a way that slips up to under the fem radar, right? Because I need to get this message out to not only the boys in the class, but the girls as well. Because, you know, the majority of schools are co-ed. And I can't ignore the boys in a co-ed environment, because if anything, they need it the most. Now, I'm going to be taking some I mean, look, this is a big undertaking. I'm going to need to take days off work to go and do this, which is going to give me a hit to my pocket. So there may come a time at which I might say to you guys, look, you know, if you support this masculinity project, please donate $1 a month to Patreon, right? And you know, if you think that I'm just shilling for donations because I'm trying to get all this extra cash on the side, then just unsubscribe now. Just go, right? Because I see that there is something so much more important than my financial wealth. Right? My rent won't pay itself. My phone bill, so that I have data to share this message with you guys, won't pay itself. The petrol and registration for my car won't pay itself. My health insurance won't pay itself. And I'm not asking you guys to be my personal wallet, right? I'm not like a woman who's already working, or you know, just doesn't want to work, just wants to sit at home and get her nails done and says, oh, you got to pay for everything for me, right? It's not like that at all. And I'm going to start by doing videos online with a separate channel, teaching, you know, targeted at young boys, teaching them about masculinity and what that really is, and to ignore all the shit they hear in school about toxic masculinity, right? It's a great idea, you know, take up a scouts group and teach manly things like camping and survivalism, right? But I mean, even coaching soccer, footy and cricket, you know, you've still got all the mothers sitting, watching, hovering, listening, right? I need to get a couple of hundred people at a time in a classroom and inspire those young men. That's what needs to happen. And I also need to let the future high school students, college students, university students, the future females in leadership and policy and social planning know that there is nothing toxic about masculinity. And it is the epicenter of human strength, physical strength and strength of character. So, guys, I'd really love it if in the comments you could share what you think of this once this video posts after finishing the live. I'd also really love it if you've got any thoughts on it, on how I could do this even better. If any of you work at schools, if any of you have contacts at schools that might be able to get me a foot in the door to come and talk about this, I'd really appreciate if you reach out to me. My email is sydneymgtow@gmail.com. You know, and as part of these talks, I'm definitely not going to be talking about any negative attributes of women, but I am going to be talking about how women can support men to be the men that they want, because that's a mutual benefit right there. So society will not survive. You know, we will survive as individuals by staying MGTOW, but society will not survive. Right, the birth rates are already plummeting because of feminism. We need to reclaim our birthright to be masculine, to exude masculinity, to be strong, dependable, and unable to be toppled. We need to reclaim that, men, and now is the time. It has to be done. It has never been more pressing than it is today, and every day moving forward. So what I want to ask is, would you be on board to donate $1 a month if I start doing this? Because I can't do it while I'm still trying to pay the bills by working. I can't do 2 full-time jobs at once. Anyway, look, give us some thought, guys. I think this is something that we need to work towards as a collective. I'm willing to dedicate my life to this. If you guys are willing to dedicate, you know, $1 a month to it. And what I will be doing. And you know what? And I also have not spent a cent of the money I've received from PayPal. I have not spent a cent of the money I have received from Super Chats. I've not spent a cent of the money that I have received from Patreon. All of that money is pooling together in a war chest. So I think so far we've got almost $2,000 pulled together. But you know, that doesn't go far when you're speaking full time. It doesn't go far when you are you know, working on political campaigns. It doesn't go far when you are trying to reach out to legislators and do searches that have to be paid for. It's a lot of work. I really appreciate the $2 that AB just shared with me. And Unseen Survivor says I can't donate, but I will tell every boy and man up here in Ipswich to man up and stop bowing down to everyone. I really appreciate that, Unseen Survivor. And you know, I'm going to be creating some really good videos that will help men to understand that their destiny and their strength is their own, not anybody else's, and nobody gets to dictate that. So if you can share those videos as well, that is just as helpful, if not more helpful, because it means I don't need to physically go there and speak to these people. But the message has to get out there. It's so important. And you know, let's make this happen together, guys. I will be letting you know more about once I have a name for it and the website registered and some social media accounts ready to go, so we can propagate this and share it, tag it, you know, get everyone in on the action. All right, man. I'm gonna go for now, but stay tuned for this afternoon. I have a killer video for you. I mean, I've got a couple of things here that are gonna blow your mind. All right, guys, I'm gonna bounce for now. Really appreciate you all, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.